there anything better than a little backyard barbecue with friends, maybe a beverage or two? Imagine that scene, except twice as fun because Chippo has been worked into the equation. One of my favorite games to play, not just golf games, but backyard games. Imagine cornhole style, 6-ball scoring. You can play 2-on-2, the perfect foursome showdown for backyard bragging rights. If you want to purchase your first Chippo today, fun for all ages, go to chippogolf.com. Use the promo code Ripping It for 15% off your first order. Harold, I'll speak for myself here. Suck at putting? Yeah, I do. Know what can help you improve? Yeah, I do. That's perfect practice. The best putting mat that I have used. Don't just take my word for it. I'm a hack. I'm a 6 handicap. Over 100 pros in the PGA Tour have tried out Perfect Practice. It's great for alignment, for drills. You can use it in your hotel room, your apartment, your house, on the road. Super convenient. Go to perfectpractice.golf, promo code Ripping It to get 15% off.
Episode number 5, and this is going to be a good one. George Savaricas, Harold Varner III, Rippin It. H, what a week, man. That was fun to watch. RBC Heritage, quick turnaround now. Then you head to the Big Easy. What was the last 72 holes like in Hilton Head?
Awesome. I mean, I played some great golf. Obviously, some of the best golf I've played in a long time, but obviously the best finish I've had on tour. So, yeah, it was good. I mean, after the start and then a couple of wicked shots, it's a little bit of a roller coaster, but it's all a part of it. Everyone's got to, figure it out at some point, I hope.
How do you pipe one OB in the first and then play amazing golf after that and just kind of put that to the side?
Well, I mean, it's not the first time I've hit a ball out of bounds, and it's not the most wide open place in the world. And that's not my problem. I tried to hit the fairway. It's not like I was trying to hit it OB. I hit a bad shot. I mean, I hit out of bounds on Saturday too, so it wasn't that big of a deal. So, it's whatever. It's not the end of the world. No one's going to die since that ball went out of bounds, but it was pretty funny. Some guy picked it up, and I guess he was super drunk, and he comes up to me on 14. He's like, "You want your ball?" I'm like, "No, fucking idiot." But yeah, it was good. Obviously, it turned around. Chipping it in was good, but at worst, I thought I was going to make double, and I was like, cool, we'll birdie the next, and we'll keep grinding. It's not like it was super easy.
Dude, the guy trying to give you your ball back reminds me of Happy Gilmore. The guy with the nail in his head chasing down Shooter.
Correct. Yeah.
That's crazy. What I mean, you had a flow going where there were some putts that seems like you could have made. Like even with the OB ball, the 66 seemed like it could have been like a 63 or 64. When could you tell that you were in that type of rhythm?
I didn't really think about it until I got done, and everyone was like, "Dude, you could have shot the grass off of it." And I was like, "Work," but I didn't, and I had a good finish. No, the only putt you can sit there and say like, "Hey, I should have made that," is the one on 11. But at the same time, I hit it in the water on 10. I made par. 12, I get up there and make a sick little, I don't know how far it was, but make a really good putt. And then I blow it by on 13, like 5 feet, get up there, step there and make it. And then 14, sitting there and it's like going in the water, lands about a foot from going in the water and ends up going to 5 feet. So to sit there and to act like, I should have made that, that's just like, that's a piss poor attitude. Like, man, it's golf. It's 18 holes. Make the most of it and just go, take it however it comes.
Well, when you hear any golfer on any tour, any skill level, saying the shots they left out, they never mention like, oh, but the chip in might not have gone in, or like, oh, the 50-footer that I made, they count like, oh, well, I would have made that regardless, and then layer in shots that could have gone their way.
As long as you're trying, it's gonna work out. It always does. I think if you have a good attitude, good things are going to happen. I always believe that. Always have. It's golf. Any sport though, you got to have a good attitude. I don't know any sport that you can be really good at and have a bad attitude, but that surprises me because I know there's some shit attitudes out on tour and they win all the time.
We'll save that for another episode. Well, we were talking attitude with Danielle King last week. Did anything come of that conversation? Did that reinforce what you had already been doing? It was fun to be a fly on the wall and see you two go back and forth. She has kind of that killer mentality on the course. You tried to just not let things phase you. What was your takeaway from it?
It didn't. I don't think it hurt me, and I don't think it helped me. I think it was like whatever. I didn't really think about it until people, you know, it was on Twitter, and I was like, I guess so. You know, didn't think anything of it. I've been playing well. I just need to keep doing what I'm supposed to be doing, and you know, like I said, I've been getting a little lazy. Had the COVID, and just found an excuse not to do what I'm supposed to do, and you know, it lingered a little bit, and now things are turning around, and it's nice to know when you get off your butt and you trust what you're doing, good things will happen. And that's basically about it.
What does that round and then T2 being your best finish to this point on the PGA Tour, what does that mean to you?
I could sit here and say, obviously, it's the best finish on tour, you know, all that blase stuff. But what it means the most is that I can play when it matters the most. Like that's when everyone's watching, you know, no one understands what you do. You know, it counts the same as Thursday. So it's, you know, I've had some piss poor Sunday rounds, and, you know, just been trying to take pride in playing well on Sunday. You know, like it seems like it matters more, but it doesn't. And, you know, that means a lot to me.
It was crazy looking at your world rank, and it was 5 years ago, basically this week that we met on a social level at Zurich. And in that time, your highest world rank had been 104th last year after finishing T3 at the Northern Trust. And now you've jumped to 73rd. When you hear Harold Varner III ranked 73rd in the world, what comes to mind?
It's the same guy that was 150th, that was 500. Just the media and the people play on that. The coolest ranking that I saw that was important that I think would be really cool is, you know, I jumped up a lot on the Ryder Cup standings, and that never even crossed my mind. Obviously, I'm not close. I need to play better. I need to play like this every week. But that's an opportunity that I would cherish, and, you know, I need to, you know, I get excited about that. So it's not a point to get ahead of myself, but it's a point to know that, like, hey, you can do this. Like, just trust what you're doing and just be a baller. Be a ball player, dog. Be a ball player.
Just ball out. Just all you got to do. It's that easy, Harold.
Yeah, exactly.
Just ball out. You start thinking what comes with top 50 at all, or do you not let your mind start to wander?
Well, no. I think every time you play a sport, you want to know the score. You want to know where you stand. I think you should. I think you should embrace it. So, hell yeah, I know what comes with it, and that's why we play. I think a couple of years ago, I would sit there and I'd be like, yeah, I get it, whatever. But that's so dumb. You know, like, fuck that. Like, let's get it on. Let's enjoy the process, the pressure that comes with it, because that's what everyone's striving for. You know, like what do I have to be scared of? I'm 30 years old. I got a kid on the way. If anything, I should be scared of that kid.
You should be scared of diapers, my friend.
diapers don't scare me.
You don't
your
mind
wife,
diapers?
Your wife through the first trimester scares me more.
Amanda's an angel. I could never envision anything to the contrary, Harold.
I'm sure she's going to walk in here in a minute and let everyone know.
It was cool. Like you and Emiliano Grillo, I know are buddies. There was this back and forth, and you guys probably had no idea.
Oh, what do you mean we didn't have any idea? We knew everything. Well,
really? You knew his tipping? No, on the course you knew?
Oh, I didn't know on the course. I knew when I got done.
Yeah.
I had some awesome text messages, but the coolest phone call was afterwards, and I had heard what happened. I didn't see it, and like, you know, obviously there's text messages, blah blah. And he calls me and he goes, man, I made that, and I told Tim, not today, motherfucker. So it's just crazy. We played together. What did we play together? We played together the first 2 days. I really like being out with him. Just a great kid. I mean, he's not a kid; he's a grown man. But just awesome
in my eyes.
Correct. I don't mind being a kid, because before you know it, I'll be talking to him like I was talking about Stewart.
Yeah, what was your Stewart quote again? Where was that? I didn't see it.
mean, his old ass, he's old, but he's whooping our ass, like, dude, like, he played so well. I'm so happy for him. He's a great guy. He's been good to me. And, I haven't asked him for much, but he's just nice when people actually have serious conversations. Like, sometimes I just don't want to talk about golf. Actually, I really don't care about golf. I want to know, when you see someone every day, you want to know, like, how's the family, how's things. He's been through the ringer with his wife, and like, it's pretty cool. His son's caddying. Like, I could only imagine. I watch like son videos on Instagram, and I'm over here crying. Like, so tell them what I'm gonna be doing when my kid's 18 wanting a caddy, if that's an option. So yeah. That was the best phone call by far, driving home.
What was the coolest text that you got? Or someone that might have surprised you?
I still don't know. I haven't checked them all. I've been pretty busy today, but nothing spectacular. I'm not really good at actually reading. It's not my strong. I just kind of, all right, I played well. Cool, thanks. I'll see you soon, and we'll shoot the stuff.
Yeah. We'll get into Zurich on the back end. Pretty cool first on Rippin It that we have a dual interview back to back. I never heard of A Boy With No Job until you were telling me back at Mayakoba when we were hanging last year that you guys had become buddies and trading DMs.
Yeah.
How did a girl with no job and a boy with no job, Claudia and Ben, kind of get on your radar?
So Amanda obviously showed me a couple things from Girl With No Job, and then like Boy With No Job, and then he's like he like sends me a message like, dude, pulling for you, blah blah, and then we just started shooting stuff, and it was just pretty just having a conversation, something I'm not that bad at some days. So it was just super easy. He's a great guy, and enjoyed having him on for sure.
Yeah, looking forward to the interview. H, I know you got a jet soon. Let's get to the interview with a boy with no job, followed by a girl with no job.
You want to wake up feeling good every day? I mean, who doesn't? This product, I can personally attest, has had a huge shift in my day-to-day wellness. It's 2020 Immunity Booster, 2.5-ounce shot, handcrafted by sports dietitians, filled with essential vitamins and nutrients with none of the artificial colors or BS you see in sports drinks. I have it before I go to the range or start my round, or even just to kick off my day. Get 20% off your first order. Ripping It 20, the promo code. Go to drink2020.com. Let's welcome in our next guest on the show to Rippin It, Ben Soffer. And Ben, if I understand correctly, you are the owner of the Fountain Blue. How long have you had that as part of your portfolio?
I love that you brought that up. Do you know how many free tables I schemed at the age of 19 during Passover because I would go in with the same last name as the owner of the Fountain Blue? And it goes a step further than that. I have an uncle, Jeffrey Soffer. Uncle Jeffrey Soffer. Swear on my life. I have an Uncle Jeffrey Soffer. I'd go up. I'd say, look, Uncle Jeff said that I could bring in a couple of my boys and we could just go see Lil Wayne. Is that cool? And they'd say, sure. And it was amazing. So it's nice that you brought that up.
How long have you...
I was born to a poor Soffer family, not the rich Soffers.
You have a lot of people who slide into your DMs. How did you two guys kind of connect, and would love to hear, Ben, from your viewpoint first. Harold, take it away.
So my wife obviously follows your wife, and she like always shows me stuff on there, and I like think it's funny, and so I didn't follow her, and then I saw you were on there. I was like, are they like related, brother, sister? And I was like, no, they're actually married. So like one day, I guess I played at Liberty National, and you're like, hey, play well or something like that, it might come out, and I was like, so I just started following you, and then you just had these great commentary of all these diets, and I just I honestly just want to know which one was your favorite, because some of them I just can't believe you followed through with. Like the juice one you did like a week ago, that was awful. Like that, I mean, and my wife eats really well. Like she, I would never eat like that. Like she doesn't eat. She's only eats fish. She's pescatarian. That's it. Yeah, like not happening. So I just commend you on following through. Like I've tried a juice cleanse for like half a day. I had one juice.
That was the first diet in my whole life that I followed through on, just so you know. It was 10 days. I've built an entire brand around the term keto season, and I've done the keto diet for 2 total weeks in my entire life. I'm sitting at a stout 271 pounds. and while somehow my brand has become synonymous with crash diets, I don't diet. I try. I try a lot of different things. And it's funny that you brought that up. First, the how we met, yeah, I totally slid into Harold's DMs. And I was like,
hot fire.
This guy's crushing it. Like, I'm going to show him some love, and let's just see what happens. And then on the keto front, keto season is just, it's a way of life. It's like a weird term that I've coined that people love. It has absolutely nothing to do with the keto diet. It just has to do with the way that you feel when you're in it. So like if you actually did the keto diet for like 2 weeks, you feel fucking amazing. Like you're not eating sugar, you're not eating bread, you feel good. So anything good in life, like this podcast is keto season. Like it is what it is.
I would have to beg. I mean, the podcast is great, but the keto, I just can't be. Like, eating a steak and potatoes is like heaven, you know, so.
You can eat the steak.
I just don't understand how that works. So how you eat the same stuff, and you just need to eat less of the same stuff.
The way that it works is, again, I've done it for 2 weeks, but I'm very knowledgeable on the topic.
Yeah, I could tell we have our foremost expert on the topic joining Ripping It. So please enlighten us, Ben.
It's all about just no carbs. So you couldn't have the potatoes. You just pound the steaks, but you could eat enough steak until you throw up.
The best thing in life is everything in moderation. Whatever you want to do, just do it. Just do it in moderation. This old man
used
to tell me that all the time. And
I don't know how to do that. How do you do that? How do you have one slice of pizza and not a box?
Harold likes just saying that turn of phrase. He doesn't implement it.
I don't do it. It just makes me feel good. I'm not eating that much.
Yeah. Oh, I'll just have one glass of this fine Merlot.
Yeah. Oh, where's Bud Light?
So Ben, I'm totally not hip in the meme world. I remember Harold telling me you guys were kind of trading DMs, started following you. Love the content. How did you get into this where it became your sweet spot to not only build this brand, but you and your wife become like this royal couple of the meme world?
So my wife started first. I am simply just riding her coattails to the top. She had like 300,000 or 400,000 followers. This was probably 8 years ago. We had been dating for like a year. Pre all this starting, she had a blog. She hopped on Instagram, grew to like 300,000 followers herself. And to be honest, it's really, really time consuming. Creating, sourcing, posting all your own stuff. She was on her phone 24/7. And I was just like, look, like this is really annoying. Like I didn't understand it. And she's like, if you want, you could just try doing it yourself too. And so I made Boy With No Job, and it scaled. That's literally it. It's just stepping in shit. We were posting tons of memes. My brand has since turned, I prefer like original videos. And yeah, it's just memes, stories. It's a super fun brand, and we have a great time with it. But it was just stepping in shit. It wasn't like a planned thing. And
is she jealous in it? Like, you're coming on strong. I'm serious. I mean, she has like a lot of followers, but every time I look at yours, it's just like, oh, there he goes. There's another 200,000. I'm like, keto season's just flying through the radar right now.
It's bustling, it's moving, but no, there's definitely no jealousy. She's crushing it. She became a New York Times bestseller 2 weeks ago. She is a stand-up comic. She sold out 95 venues in 2019. She is...
Shut the front door.
She's to the moon. No,
yeah, you're not catching her then at all, are you?
No. I have no... By the way, that's not even the goal. There is no goal. That would be like me saying I'm going to hop on tour and try and rip it like Harold, and that's just not going to happen. I'm just going
to... Your over-under before round is the best. That's the good thing about life and people that can make fun of themselves. I I just love like seeing what you shoot because you always put you do your over under, and I'm like, and you'll name like Liberty National. I'm like, over. But
what are your lines set normally?
I set it at 90. I've been breaking it recently. I'll tell you, my golf game is trending in the right direction. It really is. I was like a solid 26, really, like going out there shooting high 90s, and it was ugly. And
how do you get enjoyment shooting like 103? Ever like getting your teeth kicked in?
Because
you do play nice courses in New York.
You realize that you are not putting in enough effort into getting better when you're at a 103. So I started pounding lessons, and it really helped. But it's like it's just like you're at 103 and you're boozing and you're having a good time and you're hitting shit shots. But it's like nobody ever really taught you what you're supposed to do. So you can't be that hard on yourself. I don't know. Yeah. It's like you see those guys going out and shooting 120. It's like you suck because you don't try. Like, do you hit the range? Do you get a lesson? You're not just like going to go out there and be awesome. Otherwise, everybody would be professional golfers. It's just not how it works. Yeah. It's time.
How did you get into golf?
Growing up, a lot of my friends played. I went with them to their clubs. I would probably play like 2-3 times a year from like the age of 18 to 28, 27. And then I got really into it. I'm like, you know what? I'm playing, as you said, I was increasingly playing better and better courses. Like over the last year or so, I've played unbelievable courses. Like I've been playing,
not hard to get out of bed for that.
I played Baker's Bay. I played Silo Ridge. I've just been playing sick courses, and it's like I'm really gonna go out there and like suck dick. Like I don't know if we can curse on this. I'm sorry. I'm just gonna go out there and like be brutal. Like it's just like why am I doing that? Yeah, it's like why am I playing the nicest courses and just like putting it in the water? And like,
well, you make bad golf relevant, so I commend you on that.
Thank you.
Because most people are either trying to cheat or hide it, but you have so much fun with it. You know, like I'm going to break 90, and I get a great kick out of it. So
yeah,
my laugh.
Thank you, brother.
My bad.
Ben, for you to get on all these courses, how much of that is meme related, or like what's your strategy to play all these amazing places?
Having generous, good friends, meeting the right people. I don't know. It's definitely not meme related. It's more just friends related. Yeah. It's funny. The one time I'm trying to think, the only thing that golf and Boy With No Job have ever really, like the only paths that I've ever crossed was the Honda Classic. Right before COVID, I was invited to, but I didn't even think I was supposed to play. It's not is it called a Pro-Am? What is it's when it's like people that aren't supposed to be playing golf are playing with, okay, cool. So I was supposed to play in that. And that's honestly when I started really gearing up. I'm like, okay, I'm being invited to potentially play in Pro-Ams. I can't stink anymore. So that's when
once there's public shame involved. Then it really ratchets it up.
It's not even like, as you can tell, I'm super self-deprecating. It's part of our brand. Like I couldn't give two fucks what anybody thinks of me. That's like just like what it is. But I want to be good for myself. Like I play a lot of golf. I'd like to be good at it eventually. So just like
who'd you play with?
Trying to. I didn't end up. We didn't end up doing it. I just took a bunch of pictures and I was there and I filmed, but it didn't end up.
Did you have a good time? That tournament was pretty fun.
Yeah, it's amazing. And like just
that tournament is awesome. It's so underrated, but they could do. I mean, the only bad thing is number 17. I mean, the grandstand's way too close to the tee box.
Oh, it's amazing.
I mean, it's amazing until you're the one hitting it, and you're like, hey, can you be quiet? And they're like, why do I have to be quiet? Well, maybe because I'm trying to hit the fucking ball.
It's like a double-A version of Scottsdale.
Scottsdale is probably 60 yards away. Like, if you're 60 yards away, say whatever. You don't even have to say quiet, please. Actually, yell. But when they're me to this microphone, like right here, like, you're going to miss this. You're going to miss this. And the wind's blowing 30 off the right. You're like, I got 50 on Harold to hit the green, and I haven't hit a green in 10 holes. So, I'm just hoping that a miracle's going to happen here. So it's it's interesting. You just don't know how well the Waste Management does it. They do it every year. But I think it's just awesome that they, you don't think about those little things like that. And I just remember that a lot, being on 17, trying to make the cut and starting it in the water and not having a great time, but I've had some good memories there. Sometimes.
It's
amazing. I can't even imagine. Like I literally shit my pants when there's a group behind me. Like when there's just a group watching. Like I can't even imagine there being thousands of people.
You see how you're talking to me right now, and you're just you're so comfortable. You're using these big words where I'm actually Googling some of them as you say them. Like man, never. That's like me on the golf course. Like you see how comfortable you are. So it's the same thing. I'm pretty comfortable in my skin. I just really like helping people. So that's my thing, really.
Ben, talk the opposite of comfortable in their own skin. We were kind of chatting before the show. Harold was saying how he hears the cat calls at Honda. You threw out a meme a few years back, had an athlete directly respond to you who's kind of well-known in NBA circles. Are you surprised when you put out content and share it if you'd like, when you have athletes or celebrities directly hitting you up to talk about what you posted?
Yeah, so that reference was to Kevin Durant responding to a story from a couple of years ago and being offended. I not unintentionally, look, I tagged him in a picture of a snake. It is what it is. Everyone was calling him a snake. I didn't mean anything by it, but yeah, we had a rough exchange. The truth is, though, I called Kevin Durant a snake. He bugged out, and immediately I was like, "No, bro, I swear I love you." And it's
roles reversed.
So I just looked in the mirror. I looked in the mirror, and I'm like, "Dude, what are you doing?"
Yeah,
so,
it's
H, how do you handle it?
Sure. I literally have a group text I send them to, and we just laugh. And then some of them I respond because, most of them are just people placing bets and they're losing. You know when it's coming, too. It's when you shoot the good old, miscut by one and they had you to win. Like, you're, a high favorite to win and you don't even make the cut. You know they're coming. But the greatest thing about it, but I really don't know this, I feel like they can't get to you. I think people are really crazy in this world. So, that always kind of wigs me out a few times. But sometimes I'll repost it and just, so all the people that follow me religiously, they'll fire them up. But it's just, I think it's great banter. I think it's what makes social media awesome. But I also think you can make a lot of money on social media. So if you want to use that as your platform, you got to be able to take the good and the bad. And everyone's so sensitive right now. Everything you do, say, just stood up their hair somewhere, oh my gosh, the hair came up on my shoulder. I couldn't believe it. I mean, relax, bro. We don't really care about you and your feelings. Just keep going, keep enjoying it. It's supposed to be fun. You're supposed to laugh. So I'm super opinionated, so that's not a great platform for that.
The regular fan doesn't understand that golfers are human beings. I forget which one of you mentioned it before, but it's you're just yelling at them about their bet, and the second that you turn around, the same way as if you respond to a DM and you're like, "Hey, bro, relax, it's all good." They 100% calm back down again. They just don't get it. So I think that actually is something great about social. It really it humanizes people. You can show your whole life. You can show Harold behind the scenes, not just the golfer, the family guy, your passions, your hobbies, and it helps build out a fan base for you where people feel so connected to you that maybe that happens less frequently in the future. So I think it plays both ways.
H, would you ever have a burner account?
No, no. I when it came out that Kevin Durant had a burner account, I don't have that many followers, but I also just don't understand. The point of the social media is that it is you, for the most part. Isn't that, I thought that was the point. I don't even listen to anyone if they have, an egg or what do they have now? What's a egg now? It's just a little circle and then another circle, right? On Twitter. Then on Instagram. And I don't know. I mean, I just know if it doesn't have anything serious on it, I just don't. But the ones that get me are because obviously kids are really into social media, is when they send something and they're like, hey, I don't know if you'll see this, but I really want to say thank you for X tournament or doing this. Like, you're doing a lot more than you think. And dude, I'll read them like 3 times and just be like, keep doing what you're doing. You know, like, so sometimes when someone's talking on there, I think it's really good because every once in a while it's great to hear something that, like, what I think is right is right. You know, just reinforcing that we're doing great stuff and keep believing in it.
I like that you brought that up because that's like the real power of social. When you get a story like through the, like, I would get all these through the pandemic. It's like everybody's so depressed and sad, and like I'm doing my best to like put out funny content, and I would just get messages like you brighten my day, like you've kept this going, like or you've kept me going. Like, yeah, that stuff is amazing, and like
whatever that is why I like being on social media. Because
I agree.
What are you the most passionate about, philanthropy-wise or with your time?
So my wife and I are very involved in a charity called The Gift of Life. Have either of you guys heard of it?
No, that's why you're
so
on the show. I want to hear about it.
Yeah, they their main goal is curing all types of cancer, but specifically blood cancer, and it's through bone marrow transplants. And it's the easiest thing to do. You can organize a drive, or you can go in yourself. You get swabbed, very COVID-esque. Like when you get the test, they like run it through your nose. It's super easy. Put it in a pouch. And if you are a match, you can save somebody's life. And so they basically are trying to swab as many people as possible. They've swabbed millions of people. And it's an amazing thing how easily you can save somebody's life, and people don't necessarily know it. Like, if you are the right match from a blood and bone marrow perspective, it's like a small procedure, and you literally save their life. So that's something that we've been working with for a long time, raised a lot of money for, and they're a fantastic organization. It's called The Gift of Life.
That's awesome.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Next, what's your favorite meme?
Favorite meme?
Pick one. Desert Island. You can only bring one meme with you. What do you got?
Oh my God, this is a really, really, really hard question. You have me on the spot. I
do this for a living.
My favorite meme.
Yeah.
Come back to it. It'll come to me. Come back to it.
All right. What's your favorite golf course?
Ooh, Baker's Bay.
You've played some unbelievable ones.
Baker's Bay is like.
Oh yeah.
Again, I haven't been since the very horrific hurricane, so I'm hoping that it was rebuilt and is as pristine as it was. But
they got enough money to make it pristine. They'll be all right.
That course was just unbelievable. I mean, any Discovery property course, these courses they're just unrivaled in my opinion. Like, at least the ones I've played. They're perfectly manicured. Yeah, I have a crazy video of me just like ass out on Baker's Bay, like full ass. Like I'll find it. I'm like literally naked, like driving a golf ball on that course, and it was unbelievable.
So I played Chileno Bay, and same deal. Just wore swim trunks, barefoot with a buddy. It was phenomenal. I mean,
I don't think I've ever been to a Discovery property.
Really?
We're gonna need to do that.
I just thought about that. Like, Mirabelle in Arizona, in Scottsdale used to be, I think, but it's not anymore.
Ben, are you
I just think
music
golf's
on the
going
course guy?
that.
See, it's funny when you said like the shorts and the barefoot. I enjoyed it at Baker's, but then I was like, I would like to have taken this course a little more seriously. I try and zone in. I like music. Music's cool. Yeah, sure.
Cocktails?
Love cocktails.
Like cocktails to the point where you're stumbling out, or cocktails like, hey, I enjoyed myself.
Hey, I enjoyed myself. And confidentially, it's a bit of a teaser. I'm launching with a large group a new canned alcohol product called Spritz.
Really?
Spritz. It is wine based, and it is going to crush golf courses. It's great. Super exciting.
Better than
Can't talk more about it, but yeah.
All right. Well,
it's really awesome.
Just send some to the house.
Excited to try it. That's a bold statement.
Yeah, no, I mean, look, it's killer.
When this is all said and done, what do you want to get from social media? Sorry, I can't sit still. I'm nervous because I don't know many questions, and George is really good.
No, that's a great question. I want to make people happier than when they came on social. Social is super, super dark if you're not in the right place. Like, you see it all the time. We have a lot of fun on it. A lot of people don't have a lot of fun. And I just hope that the struggles in their day-to-day lives are forgotten when they come and see me.
That's awesome. How'd you meet your wife?
We met at an NYU party. We were online for the bathroom. I was 3 people behind her.
Very romantic.
The guy in there, yeah, it
You're
gets
just
more
scheming
romantic. It gets more romantic. the guy in the bathroom must have been taking like a wicked shit. Like, he was just like in there for like 20 minutes, and I
what an
really
aphrodisiac.
needed to take a piss. Yeah, I needed to take a piss. I went up, like, I was third in line, but I went up to the front. I banged on the door. I'm like, get the fuck out. The guy came out. He's like, who did that? And I pointed to my wife, and I didn't know her, but that was the first time that we met, and she loves loves when I tell that story.
All right, Ben, to let you go, and H, these will be stream of consciousness. Harold, you're married. I'm not. We're going to ask some couples questions, assuming we have girl with no job on, to test how well you know each other. So
Great.
You already told us the how you met story. Who's messier?
Who's messier? Me. She's a neat freak. I'm disgusting.
What's her favorite color?
Purple.
Favorite color? Digging deep here.
That's one thing Amanda always asks me, and I'm like, shit, I don't know. Damn.
Is that something couples have to know? Like, are you in
Dude,
trouble?
I got this off another show, bro. It was like,
you need to know everything.
I'm single. I don't. This is new to me.
Maybe that's why. Not remembering shit. You gotta remember everything. It's
morning person or evening person? Is she a morning person or evening person?
Evening.
I got it. I messed it up. I'm supposed to ask what you are, and then she tries to guess, or?
We're both evening.
Both evening? Better meme game?
Ooh, me.
Whoa, would she agree?
Strong.
Yeah, she has a lot of better qualities, but I think my memes are just more fire. That's just the truth.
Best dresser. Because in New York, everything's all like being snazzy.
Oh, yeah.
Like, let's hear it.
Oh, wow. I'll throw it to her.
Oh,
it's a bad question.
I'll
get in trouble.
Her. Exactly.
No, I mean, look. Come on.
Hey.
But her.
Who's getting invited to a cocktail party? You or her? Only one can go.
Done.
Her.
Better pass on this one again.
Yeah. You're a smart
right
man.
answer.
You're a smart man. And then finally, just real quick, what's your lowest round ever? You set these over-unders at like 90. What's your miracle day?
My lowest round ever is an 86 at Silo Ridge.
Damn.
That's my lowest round.
That place looks
And I'm not
awesome.
going to lie, I feel like this is a very classic thing, but like I feel like I could have shot a 76. Like, you look back at those rounds and you're like, holy shit, the amount of 3 putts that I had is crazy. So, yeah, 86. But we're trending in the right direction.
Love it.
That's awesome.
Hey, man. Enjoyed it, Ben. First time getting to interact with you. A lot of fun. I know you and H go way back, so it's cool that we all got to connect. I hear it all the time. George, you're living in Miami these days. You got to have some late nights, and you wake up, you're not feeling too hot. Not true, and I'll tell you why. Tempo. Total game changer. Tempo supplements guarantee you're never going to miss a beat thanks to a formulation of natural ingredients and essential nutrients. 2 versions of Tempo, Hungover AF, which I've taken, natural hangover supplement, and coffee, a supplement for clarity and focus. Check out both at trytempo.co. That's trytempo.co. Find your rhythm with Tempo. Use promo code TEMPO for 15% off your order. What's better than having a boy with no job on than his better half and arguably the more talented of the duo in some respects, a girl with no job, Claudia Oshre. Thanks for hopping on with us. And I know Harold, you should just ask 20 minutes of questions because I know how excited you are to have her on and how excited your wife is to have like a real superstar in the meme world join us.
Yeah, I'm super excited because obviously my wife talks about you all the time, and then I somehow met Ben, like linked up with Ben. I'm like, I mean, what is going on? And then obviously we spoke with Ben, so it's a pleasure to have you. Obviously there's more people that are more excited to have you than I ever thought. I just didn't know. So I'm looking forward to getting to know you better and figure out where you get all these memes from.
Yes. Well, thank you guys so much for having me. I appreciate acknowledging, obviously, the elephant in the room being, so much funnier and more talented than my husband. So I appreciate us just kind of like getting that out of the way because it could be awkward.
He was pretty good. He cracked me up. So I see why you two get along.
And at the end, we asked him some personal questions to see how well you know each other. So we're hitting you. So you better be. We're starting like origin story to best and worst traits and all that. But I'm just curious, as a meme novice, how do you pick out a meme and know, okay, that's the winner? That's what I'm going with.
Well, for me, I've really always tried to center my content around, topical things like what's going on in the world. I very much exist in the pop culture space. So major pop culture moments have always been huge for me. Especially before the algorithm changed, you always wanted to be the first person making something funny out of, something crazy that happens. Like when Ariana Grande was performing at the Victoria's Secret fashion show and one of the wings hit her in the face, and this picture of her like getting hit by a wing that had come out, and like you had to be the first person to meme that because it was so funny, it was so iconic. So it's always things like that, really being on my phone 24/7, trying to make the most out of the wild things. Like, Super Bowls were always big for me, and award shows, like kind of piggybacking off of those topical events.
I mean, that's incredible how you can just be like so in tune to that. What's your favorite meme?
Well, honestly, the meme that really made me like so
I gotta look
shook,
this up.
because the feeling when a meme kind of describes something that you internally do, you don't realize that other people do. And it was a meme when it was like, when you get a cold and, one of your nostrils is clogged up and you like spend that time kind of reminiscing on the good old days when you had both nostrils like available to breathe. And it was a feeling, it identified a feeling that I had when I like get sick, and I never realized, but it was totally something that I did, and it shook me. I'm like, oh my God, other people do this? Like, I literally do this. And it was that feeling that you just want to like replicate with all your content, because it was crazy. I felt so exposed.
I'm looking at nostril memes while we're sitting here, so that's why.
Yeah.
There's some good ones.
How often are you cracking up at your own memes?
Oh, I mean, I crack up at myself all the time because, I've got an audience of one, and if I'm making myself laugh, I'm winning. So I laugh at myself more than any other person laughs at anything that I do, because I think I'm hilarious. And if you think you're hilarious, other people will too.
How did Ben get started with Boy With No Job, piggybacking off of you? Like, how did that come about? Because he was so adamant about that when we were talking. He's like, I basically just used her, and I was like, good on you, because he could have been like, hey, I did this, I did. He's like, no, that's not how it happened.
Yeah, no, it actually happened really organically, because the time when I started to find success on Instagram was really parallel to the time me and Ben started dating and like getting serious. And I was spending so much time on my phone because part of, what got me so excited was obviously so many new followers, but I was getting followed by a lot of celebrities. So for someone like me who's obsessed with TV, pop culture, that was like the biggest gift of all. So there are programs now where you can kind of find influential people who follow you, but back then you were scrolling manually through all your new followers to see if anyone was verified, if anyone was a celebrity. So I was spending hours at night just like scroll, in addition to working full time on my Instagram.
So it really started for that.
Yeah, there's a ton of different like tools now where you can like sift through your followers.
Oh my gosh, I got to get all these secrets. Maybe
it's everything. But like it did start to annoy Ben because it was taking time away from our relationship, and I was just so consumed fully by this whole thing. And my audience back then was like 97% female. And for me, I was like, well, I want, everyone to follow me, not just women. So I made a page called Boy With No Job. And I'm like, Ben, run it, but I'm going to look for someone to, work full time on it that I could hire. And Ben just kind of ran with it. And he has a very unique sense of humor. And I really feel like it ended up being a great thing for us, for our business. And I never ended up hiring anyone. He just kind of ran with it and did his own thing.
When he says keto season, though. Oh, yeah.
I know. He comes up, I don't know where he's pulling this shit out of, but it's just, he is so unique.
Sorry, George. Definitely just cut you off there, but
all good. No, I was just curious.
Question.
I mean, If you founded the page, are you technically his boss then?
Oh, for sure.
Would
Knows regardless if he was on the page or not.
Yeah. My book, New York Times bestseller. It's called Girl with No Job: The Crazy Beautiful Life of an Instagram Thirst Monster. And it is available ebook, audiobook, anywhere you get books. And it just came out in January, so it's still fresh. And what I learned about like myself along the process is, I mean, it's so cliche, but of course, like I poke fun and I'm like the first person to crack a joke. But of course, all people like that are deeply sentimental and vulnerable and emotional. So I feel like the book really highlighted like both of my personalities, which is one being, super tough on the exterior, like take a joke, dishing it. But then the other half of the book is like the deeply vulnerable, like human side of me that most people don't get to see. But when you're writing a book, you can't help but gravitate towards that because you want to, like, this is, for me, you only get one first book. Yeah. And I wanted like a full rounded like picture of who I am. And I have many personalities.
So got to ask from a golf standpoint.
Yeah.
Ben, I mean, his over-unders and the time that he spends in the course are just absolutely hysterical. I know that's how he and Harold connected. When you think golf, like what comes to mind?
Alone.
Really?
Let me tell you.
Jeez,
because we live in New York, so you'd think there's like 3 months that are good for golf. My husband finds a way to play golf 9 months out of the year. And so while I'm so happy that he's found something that fulfills him, and it's great he spends time with his friends, they always have a good time, I get it. I'm left alone and he's like, okay, I'll play, I'll be up at 6, I'll be back by 12. Never once has he been back by 12. It's always
the
5
ultimate
o'clock.
Husband timeline.
It's a full day.
I'll
so
be back in 4 or 5 hours.
Just be honest with me so I can plan my day. But instead it's like, oh, he'll be back at 12. I'll wait for him. We'll have lunch at 1. He never shows up. So it's like the disrespect. I'm always alone. Always.
His over-under thing might be the best thing ever.
What's that?
Where he puts like, do you think I'm going to break 100 today?
Oh, yeah. No, I know. And it's like, it'd be one thing, to be honest, if he was playing so much and then he like, was the next Tiger Woods. Like he was actually, getting better. But it's my understanding that he's just like playing at the same level he's been playing at. So it's like, why all this practice?
That's what makes it so entertaining.
So enjoyable, though. Yeah, it's so enjoyable. It's obviously it's a great sport. It's changed.
But he has so much heart.
Yeah.
Have you ever played?
I have played once, but I did find it quite distracting. Are they called halfway houses?
Yeah.
Yes.
Which I just think is so funny. Like, are we like no one is addressing that they're called halfway houses?
Is that like are we about to get canceled?
No, that's like when you get out of prison, it's like a
it's intermediate part when you've been in there forever. I didn't know that was called a halfway house.
I never even put 2 and 2 together.
Oh my God, that's the only like place I've ever heard halfway house. So when we played golf one time, Ben was like, this club or whatever has great halfway houses. Like, you're going to love it. I'm like, did you just say halfway house?
I mean, that never even crossed my mind.
That's crazy.
Really?
I've played golf 25 years. I've never made the association there. That's phenomenal.
Well, I loved the halfway houses. They had frozen margaritas.
They'll have a new name for it now here in a minute.
Yeah. No, I'm surprised like that it hasn't been changed yet.
All in time. Just give it some time.
So it's frustrating, obviously, because I'm not good. And the ball was just like not even going even close like to the direction I needed it to go, like at all. But I had a good time at the halfway houses. Oh my God, such a good frozen margarita. Like maybe the best I've ever had.
The ones at the Discovery properties are just amazing, though.
Amazing, delectable, and the snacks they had like corn dogs. It was really like a carnival in a box.
They do it right at those things. It makes you.
They do it right.
It makes you just want to like party there and
sit. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it really is a beautiful sport. Like I know Ben plays a lot, but I've only played a handful of times, and the courses are just stunning. Perfect backdrop for an Instagram photo.
Biggest celebrity you've ever met?
Elon Musk.
Your eyes. You met Elon Musk?
I did. It's also in my book.
Is he cool as his Twitter, though?
Not to keep plugging my book, but the story is in the book, but I'll give you an abridged version. I saw him at a house party, and he was talking to someone who I happen to know. So, of course, I used it as an opportunity to go say hi to this person. And he introduced me, and he was like, oh, this is my friend Claudia. She actually runs Girl with No Job. And Elon was like, "Oh my God, yeah, I've seen your stuff. I love your blog." And I'm like, "Oh my God, I don't even have a blog, but whatever, thanks."
No way. Was
So
he?
you just
So he
went
was
with it?
cool though.
Cool. I mean, he's superhuman. He's like it's like talking to a robot. Like, it's not real.
Oh, weird. I don't know if I'd like that, but keep on, Elon.
And it was a fun party.
Where was
seems
it?
like if Elon was in there.
It was at some like enormous home in the Hollywood Hills. I was
Yeah, I was
someone's
gonna
plus
guess
one. I
West
didn't get
Coast.
invited myself.
When are you going to
No
invite
boy
me to
with
one of these
no
things?
job?
Ben was there too, so he was a witness because I knew people wouldn't believe my story.
Got it.
That's awesome. If you could date any golfer, any PGA golfer, who would it be? Sorry, Ben.
Happy Gilmore. No, I'm kidding.
That's awesome.
Honestly, Phil Mickelson for a multitude of reasons, but he's cute in like a dad kind of way.
Phil
And
Mickelson.
This is a great story. I had a
Oh,
show in Scottsdale or Phoenix, whatever, and I was flying home, and I was sitting next to this guy who was just talking my ear off about how he went to Scottsdale with his friends from college. They had a great time, and I'm like, yeah, whatever. But then I got home and I just like decided to lie to Ben, make up this story that I sat next to Phil Mickelson on the flight home because like I thought it was kind of believable. Like coming from Scottsdale, sitting in first class, like why wouldn't Phil Mickelson be on that flight, you know? And he believed me for like an hour, and I just like kept the jig up. It was so funny. And so now, for no reason other than that story, like Phil Mickelson is like one of my favorite golf players.
No way. Yeah, but Phil will never be, I don't think, ever flying on
I know.
those commercial planes.
Yeah.
But,
Private
you know,
jet.
you'd like to think that.
Couple questions we had asked your husband, and to circle back, what was the location where you two met, and was a bathroom involved?
Okay, like technically the bathroom was involved. I choose to keep that out of the story because it's not romantic. It's disgusting. But we met at a party on 31st Street.
Okay. This was an NYU party or no?
Yes.
And it
That's
was
awesome.
him blaming you for a very loud knock? Or
That was his
basically-
favorite.
I'm just
part
trying
of
to
the story.
verify what we just heard from your husband.
No, like that part, whatever Ben said, like is true. It's just not the part that I choose to focus on when highlighting our love story.
Fair enough. Women these days. But
It's gross. Like I'm not including the bathroom in like.
it's
not to
not
tell my
gross, but
grandchildren
it's
that.
like, I mean, it's pretty. You can tell your kids one day. That you'd be a
I
good
don't want
part-
to.
Who's messier out of you two?
Oh my God, Ben.
Who's had produced the best meme out of you two?
Ooh.
You have one holy grail.
You
I mean,
already-
I don't
she
know
already
which
know
meme
that.
in
She wa-
particular, but I think there's proof in the pudding. I have 3 million followers and he has 1.6.
I was waiting for that. And he
That's
works
like,
for
It's
you.
how many
simple
how many
math.
rings do I have? I got 3 mil.
It's simple math.
Morning or evening person?
Evening.
Oh, I don't know how you do it. Ooh.
It's
That's what he
appropriate to
said.
have drinks in the evening. That's why.
Yeah, it's perfect time.
In most cultures, yes.
Yes.
And finally, I mean, how are you stunned that keto season has become what it's become?
I'm not stunned because, as Ben says, it's a lifestyle, and he's right. And it's so funny when he says it because he's not even on keto.
I'm asking, can you do that? Yeah, can you do when he's like,
But
keto.
that's the magic of it. Like, if you try to, like, poke holes in his story, he doesn't care. Like, that's the magic of keto season. You don't even have to be on keto.
That's phenomenal.
He is something else.
Mm-hmm.
One last plug, book, and then do you have any upcoming tours, or where else can we catch up with you?
Well, of course, you can read my book, Girl with No Job, The Crazy Beautiful Life of an Instagram Thirst Monster. You can also listen to my
Thirst
podcast
monster
Monday.
part.
Yeah. You can also
No
listen
mention
to my
of Juice
podcast.
Box?
Oh, fuck, yeah. No tours coming up thanks to COVID, but hopefully by the end of the year, we'll be able to go back out, and tickets are always available at girlwithnojob.com.
That's awesome. That's
Hopefully
awesome.
we can see you at a halfway house sometime down the road.
I'll meet you for a frozen margarita.
Love it.
Yeah, the right halfway house.
Before they change the name.
Hey guys, I hope you enjoyed the time with Girl with No Job and Boy with No Job. Awesome people, crazy stories. Obviously, super excited about life. It's something I like, but the stories were, something that, we don't really get to experience, where you have to live in a, walk the fine line, and all the time, because I don't do a good job of that. But Super cool. What do you think, George?
Yeah, it's I respect them as entrepreneurs. Claudia had the vision and obviously like the comedic gifts to create Girl with No Job. Know that she wanted to create Boy with No Job. It just so happens to be her boyfriend. Now they have this fledgling little empire. She's doing tours and books. Ben's kind of carved out his own niche. It's wild to me because I had never heard of them until you mentioned them 3-4 months ago. That just the different degrees of celebrity in the modern era.
Yeah.
Where to a subset of people, they're probably a big time celebrity, a boy and girl with no job.
Without a doubt.
Versus like a very niche audience that includes my family. They're like, oh, that's the George on the Golf Channel.
Yeah.
But outside of that, no one knows who the hell I am. And then PGA Tour and then jump fans of Jumpman and other people know who Harold Varner is. So then you get this kind of cross section, more so you and a boy and girl with no job, where there's probably some overlap with some of the fans, but it's totally different groups of people who hold all three of you in different regards of like celebrity.
Yeah, without a doubt. Super cool. Obviously, thank you for their time. I think they're way more busier than I am. I could only imagine being on my phone that much. Like I had 100 text messages and I was like, I can't do it. I can't.
You just throw your phone away.
Yeah, burn a hole in my head.
What prior to H being the guy on the PGA Tour, when you were in college or high school, you ever slide into any athlete DMs back in the day, like Ben was saying with Kevin Durant? Not like trash talking, but when you were a young upstart.
No. Hell
never.
No, man. What am I gonna say to him? Hey, man. Just want to let you know you're doing a good job. Hey, you're doing pretty shit right now. Like you don't think they don't know? Yeah, exactly. So no. What do I got to say? That's their job. Let them do their job. If they're doing bad, I'm sure the GM, their teammates, and everyone else is telling them.
Yeah, I never could. That's why I'm always like amazed seeing your DMs.
Yeah.
People who reach out giving you golf advice, giving you putting tips.
Thank you. And just keep it moving.
All right, new segment. We've done overrated, underrated before. I want to do more of the stories that are experienced inside the ropes with life, either on or off the PGA Tour. I'll call this Story Time with H. Let's focus with last week. What was the best story from the RBC Heritage on your march to a T2?
So at the beginning of the week, I'm playing with Emmy and Zane.
Emmy being Emiliano Grillo.
Yeah, that guy. Yeah. So we're sitting there and, like everyone understands if you like barely move and their player's hitting, the caddy's going to go nuts. I hate it. The worst thing a caddy can do is, unless they're like in front of me or the wind's blowing and you think something's wrong, don't say a word. Let me hit this. Like, it's not going to bother me. Yeah. So Tim, Emiliano's caddy, basically like if Emmy's like doing, if anyone's like moving, he's like, hey, be quiet. I'm like, dude, come on, bro. And Emiliano's so like, he looks like the guy with the Bad Boys 2, the drug lord, so he's just like, so we're sitting there and we're just like, whatever, and it just got to the point I was like, hey, don't breathe. Emmy said, don't breathe. So it's just been a running joke all day. When he called me after the round, I basically just told him, better not breathe on that trip home, bud. So it's just pretty funny.
And then we don't have to, I know you guys have some nicknames for each other. We don't have to get into the actual nickname, but I know like you're able to get him riled up. What happened on the first tee?
Well, I call him this nickname all the time because he's like, we got in an argument about where you're from, and I didn't know where he was from, where it was on a map, and he was so mad. He's like, it'd be like saying you're from South Carolina. I was like, well, then I'm far apart, bud. I get it. So, yeah, he like basically like put me in a little headlock, on the first walking down the first fair. I'm like, bro, like relax. So it's I just love giving him a hard time. He's a great guy. I enjoy being around him.
Was that almost, you had told us previously your last fight was in high school?
Yeah.
Fisticuffs. on the first fairway at Harbortown?
Yeah, no,
That one.
no. We're golfers. We're harmless. But I mean, I love how people try to ask questions. Though most of the time, they're like, who's the biggest dickhead up there? I'm like, man, we play golf. Like, come on, bro. Like, ain't nobody.
Well, and that's what's funny to me. People 9 times out of 10, I get the question, "Who's the biggest asshole?" instead of "Who's a genuinely good guy to hang with." People always want like a little dirt, and it's like, "Oh yeah, I knew so and so was."
Yeah, people love hating, and it is what it is, and you can't control them, so you just keep moving.
Now it's the weird week on the PGA Tour. You have to have a teammate.
It's not weird. It's freaking awesome. Change that. It's awesome. Some people don't like it, but it's keeps the season from being monotonous. Obviously, I love playing golf, so it doesn't phase me as much. But you give you something to look forward to other than a major or playing close to home or something like that. So it's one of the coolest tournaments. I've played in. I haven't fared too well in the team part. Probably because of me, but whatever.
Who have your partners been?
I played with Smiley the first year, Robert Garrigus, and Tom Lovelady. So, just didn't play well enough. It is what it is. But I had Brendan Grace this week, and I'm looking forward to it. Basically, Ricey, my caddy, was basically caddy for him during the restart last year. And he's like, Louis Oosthuizen said, I think Gracie's looking for a player. And I was like, oh, dude, you want to play? He's like, let me know if you want to play. And, I slept on it for a minute. And then we obviously looking forward to it. We got an awesome walkout song. It's going to be fun. He sent me today, like, we're going to be matching every day. I'm like, dude, I just like when people get into it. That's fun for me.
That's what you want out of a teammate. Hey, have you guys hung out much before, or is this kind of a shotgun marriage?
No, I mean, not really hung out. No one hangs out on tour. Like, hold on,
Well, I mean, like play practice rounds over grab dinner.
We've played I've played with him a lot in tournaments, which is weird. But if he's on the putting green, I'm definitely saying hello, like regardless if we're going to play together or not.
But with your personality, what % of people would you not say hello to on a putting green when you're walking through?
0.
I mean, I can't think of anyone on tour where you just do one of those.
Nah, it's just not who I am. But good point there, George.
I mean, you're like, oh, I'd even say hi to the guy. Yeah, no shit, Harold.
Good point there. I'm sure if I walked by and I didn't say anything, they'd be like, what's wrong? For sure.
Yeah, they'd be like, man, Harold is stressed about becoming a dad or something like.
Oh yeah, I won't be stressed out about that. That's gonna be awesome.
What's the walkout song?
I can't tell you that. Hold on, I'm not spilling any beans yet.
So we got a podcast. We're supposed to be the insider here.
Oh, you're the insider, but you'll be the first. No, we're always the insider. But I can't spill the beans like that. We need no.
Did you pick it or did Brendan?
Who do you think?
I would assume you, but
yes. I mean, don't tell him what that weirdo's freaking listening to. He's like, "What do you want to play?" I was like, "I got this. Don't worry about it." So I just pick whatever song I've been listening to a lot, and I've been listening to the song a lot. So it's we'll see if they let us play it. I don't even know what they say half the time. Some of it's in Spanish, so I don't really know.
So you got a guy who won a couple months ago and has the lowest round ever in a major, and it's 62. And I was hearing a Ryan Palmer story. He won with John Rahm, and then asked Jordan Spieth, and basically James, his caddy, had beat Jordan head-to-head, so they had to partner up. But John just didn't have anyone to play with last year. When you hear stories like that, do you ever think like, okay, maybe I should just ask someone top 10 in the world and just work my way down the list?
I've asked everyone. I've tried Tiger. I've tried everyone, man. What
did Tiger say when you asked him?
I don't think I'll be playing that week. I was like, all right, man, thanks. But
was that a text or a call when you asked Tiger to play Zurich with you?
It was a text.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean,
did you do one of these, or what do you think the odds?
I did one of these. I don't think he's playing, but it's a shot in the dark. You never know.
It would be a cool duo to put together.
So it's pretty funny. So RP asked me to play after QBE or some point in Zurich, and he ended up playing with John Rahm, and he was like, they ended up winning, so we didn't play the next. I was like, oh, dude, I'll play the next year, and obviously I won't be playing with them next year.
Really?
Yeah, fun times.
What are some other almost partners that you've had?
That was it. No, most of the time I just whatever. I don't know. I just think if you play well, it's you're gonna finish high up there. But you gotta have good chemistry. You gotta have two guys that hit it really well. I think that's just what it's all about, in my opinion.
And you gotta have, like you said, good vibes. You're spending 6 days together.
Yeah, I can't wait. We got some good chemistry. It's gonna be fun.
Well, outfits. Is he going? How do you script outfits? Obviously, you're a jump man.
No, we just do the same colors. It's all good. Let's see. Let's see. You texted me earlier. I texted me another colors. We're going. I don't know in this order. We're going pink, navy, white, purple. Let's go.
Pink.
Let's go.
Pink. You're touching your soul. Touching your soul. Round one.
I like some pink. I like any color that's like out there.
You can pull it off.
Hey, don't hate the player, hate the game.
Prediction.
That's the best in Bad Boys 2. He's like, don't hate the player, hate the game. He's like, hate the fucking Taylor. I did quote that whole scene from when Reggie opens the door. That is so good.
That's one of the best scenes of the whole movie.
Oh my gosh, it's so good. So
is that the movie you quote the most?
It might be. It might be one of my favorite movies in the world.
Is Friday up there?
Yeah. Oh yeah. The attack word for my dog is Diva, so that's pretty cool.
That really is your dog's attack word?
Yeah.
What's Milo? Oh, I hear Milo in the background.
Yeah. Amanda's trying to calm him down because I'm over here yelling Diva.
Getting Milo all riled up.
Yeah.
And finally, are you gonna hit Drago's, or what's the one restaurant you have to hit every time you're in New Orleans?
There's a place called Luke.
Okay.
It's unbelievable. I'm allergic to shellfish, so I kind of stay away from places like that. So it's exciting times when, turn your brain on there, George.
We've only had that conversation like 20 times. No, I just used to forget because I love oysters so much.
Yeah, tell me about it. I hope they're good.
They're the best. Well,
tell me how you really feel.
It was fun to watch the T2. It was nice to see you finish it off with the birdie on 18. You got a ton of camera time on CBS. Hoping more of the same this week in Zurich, and look forward to debriefing and reconnecting next week.
Awesome. Peace.